I think we should really.
You all right?
Settling in.
Yeah, that's.
Looks good.
Do we have a sense as to how far away we are from? Yep.
Drygulch?
Yes, that one.
Based on the general knowledge and the map, let me take a look here because I have everything marked on this map that you guys do not have.
What happened? So what's it look like?
You have another 2 to 3 days, depending on the speed you take.
So
of constant travel.
You out of bed and you tried to climb up in the bed and your foot went in there?
It wasn't her foot. She had
So,
knee
what
up
do we want to do here? Are we still going to Drygulch? Is that
the angle she was at. She couldn't move her leg. Well, like, how were you trying to have
Oh wait, we just okay, yeah, Hadvar is in dire need of some maybe a short rest.
Are you okay?
I mean, what time of day is it?
It's just about sunset.
So we just exited the thing,
Yep,
right?
you're on the outside of the moat.
So what we can do is we can hut here near the water, so we can rest and refill our water and kind of just get a nice.
Now we've been trying to travel at night because it's so damn hot out here, right?
Yeah, you guys have only been up for maybe about 5 hours at this point.
Yeah, I think if we just took a short rest and then continue to trek on. I need to recoup a little bit.
I mean, do you want to just stay in the temple? We could go back in there. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We can track and you can lie down for a little while.
Although he probably wouldn't hurt us now that we're like friends and stuff.
I think maybe we should just not bother the giant hulking stone undead dwarf guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Who demands sacrifices.
Okay,
Hey,
so do you want to put up the
Well,
hut?
we're not tired. I'm not all that tired though. I mean, I guess I can.
Yeah, but have you looked at Hadvar? He's like kind of the shit right now.
He has like an eyeball hanging off, just kind of like rolling around on his cheek.
Well, you and I could walk and have him rest.
I mean, it's only 30 minutes for a.
I'm kind of beat to shit. I don't know how you're not noticing that I'm beat to shit, but you literally saw me get punched in the back of the head like 50 times.
So I'm casting Liam's tiny hut.
Okay.
Get us out of the sun.
Sure. You cast the spell, and it takes effect after 10 minutes. And you guys are able to huddle in there. Nice, cool temperature of, 78 degrees, as opposed to the searing heat outside the bubble.
Cool temperature, 78 degrees. What do you set your thermostat at?
Cool compared to like the 150-degree desert.
Fine.
Cooler temperature.
Federal guidelines, they want you to put it in the 70s.
Yeah. So you guys are able to take a short rest if that's what you want to do. Just a short rest, yes?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get my dice situated.
You're good.
I have a very weird setup right now because I'm trying to find a place where my back is not going to
aggravate yourself.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, out of character.
Here's a thing.
Like,
yeah.
no nonsense here. I'm at 7 hit points.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that even if I spent all of my hit dice, there's no chance that I'm getting up there
You got
to like full health.
How many hit points? How many hit die do you have?
10.
Yeah,
Everyone should have 10.
you have D10s as a ranger, don't you?
I do, but you've not seen me roll lately. Like we played in a one shot last night at my bookstore. It was real bad.
We kept rolling like 2s and 4s. And 1s.
I mean, that's fine. We can do that.
I mean, if we end up with not enough, we can take it from there. But because I don't even know when I get back my Indomitable, if I get it back on a short or a long rest. Oh, and I got spell slots that I'm not gonna get back either.
Yeah, I was
Not on a short rest.
What's that?
Not on a short rest.
Yeah, no.
no, and I'm out of. I'm halfway through sorcery.
Well, if we take a short rest just to get us to a net, just long enough. Sorry.
I have a.
Man,
Let's
you really
just take a short rest so we can like get to the next place that we need to go.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I'm looking at, and he pulls out like this gigantic, to him, map. I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking it's going to take us like at least 2 days, probably 3, if we're trying not to attract attention.
Do we see any place that looks like we could set up a more stable camp?
There is a 500-foot pyramid behind you.
A safe, stable camp?
Well, as long as we don't touch anything.
Touch it or breathe on it or look
Everything else in the desert is same as before. This was the only thing that really stuck out to begin with. It's just rolling dunes, lots of sand.
Does the statue of Greaek look any different now that we have gone through there?
Roll an investigation check.
19.
You go over and you just look at the base of the statue. You look up and try to decipher any of his runes that may be different, or maybe his facial expression. It looks the same, and as you touch it, it still is cold to the touch, as opposed to hot from the sun.
Oh, I still have the scribing from before we entered.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make a direct match? Like, yeah,
Yep.
it's still all the same.
On the base of the statue, you look at your copy, and you line it up, and it is exactly the same.
Okay.
What, guys? Obviously I'm not going to be able to see, but you have your owls. Does the obelisk at the top look any different?
Yep. You guys can make perception checks with your owls.
That's a unnatural 20.
Unnatural?
Unnatural.
Yeah, that was only a. It was only a 16.
Okay. You guys send your owls up, and as they come back down, Amora, Kit doesn't say anything, says it looks the same as when I saw it. Atari relays to you, Hadvar, that there is a hairline fracture from the tip down through the center of the obelisk on the east-facing side of the obelisk. Just a small, very, very slender crack that goes down the face of the obelisk.
I'm gonna warg into him and go look at that obelisk.
Okay.
I
You
want
go
to
back up there, and now that he tells you this, you can see it yourself. Now that you're looking for it, it's almost like someone took a pencil and just kind of squiggled a line on this dark stone.
Are there runes on the east-facing side?
Yes, they say the exact same, but vertically, as the base of the statue, your copy.
And all 4 sides are the same?
No, it's just the eastern side that has the runes,
No.
which is the same as before.
Oh. And what direction is east?
Towards the coast.
Huh. I'll relay that to them. I'll work back out, relay that to them. Hey, do you guys make any heads or tails of this? There's a crack in the eastern part of this obelisk at the top of this pyramid.
We did kind of make things up.
I mean, if you two don't know, I certainly am not going to know.
Hadvar, you can make a history check.
Okay.
So if I cast detect magic, I wonder if there's still a magical. I guess there would still be a magical source.
Oh, I wonder too.
17.
You gather the reason that the temple is kind of facing east is more of a homage to what occurred in the first age. That fight between the elementals and the dwarven homeland of the continent of Ascani, which is off the eastern coast. It's that continent that has been lost since the first age. Nobody has ever been over there since that fight, since that war thousands of years ago. It has been overrun with elementals, but they were able to keep them on that continent and stop them from entering Ferristar. So you gather maybe that's why it's facing east. But other than that, why the crack is there, or it's written in primordial. You guys know that at least.
Odd. And well, she comprehended all languages, so she knows what it said.
Yep. It says the same thing as what the down. It's like the Greaek and the.
And the shield breakers, yes.
Well, maybe it's nothing.
So, do we want to take a short rest? Do we want to take a long rest?
I'll say at least a short rest, just until we can find shelter, better shelter.
I mean,
let's take a quick bandit, lick our wounds, and let's see where we can get. That's what I vote for. Well, I'm gonna use. I want to try to use I'll use half my hit die because that's how much I'll get back on a long rest. So
you can do that.
That's kind of my game plan.
Because I'm still okay on spell slots, so it's not like I'm in dire need.
Okay, so you guys gather inside the tiny hut and take a half an hour to hour long short rest.
I'm gonna use my second wind.
Yep.
Before I roll hit dice, just so that I'm having to do less.
Oh, do I get second wind back? I can't remember.
On a short rest, yes.
Had you not used that before we stopped last week?
Me?
Yes.
No, it was me. I used mine.
Okay.
No,
I knew somebody did.
I got knocked the heck out, and then they pulled me up, and there was Greaek, and he was like, blah, 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 and then he put us out there. And that was pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I'm also I'm gonna use more hit die.
Yep, do what you guys need to. And then let me know what you're doing once you're all rested up. Gather your things, and the hut stays there until Amora leaves.
All right, that's
While you guys are rolling, I thought it was very interesting last week's episode of Critical Role, where all of your questions of whether or not you can cast from the tiny hut, they had the exact same thing happen. I was like, oh, good, I was right. I was like,
what's really funny is I turned to her and I was like, Sir rolled it the same as Anthony.
Yeah.
I
makes
rolled 9 of my hit die,
Oof.
and I now have 82 of my 91.
Nice. Good. Healthy.
I
You
rolled-
wipe the blood from a lot of the wounds and you bandage yourself as needed.
I ended up rolling all of mine because I was half down. I'm back up to 79 out of 80.
Nice. Farrah, how are you looking?
We're getting there.
I'm really excited for you to see the new episode.
Do you guys watch it live? Oh,
If
today's
you-
Monday.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yeah, and you can stream Twitch, but
The day after Friday, it's up on Twitch like it is on YouTube. And I've been meaning to tell you that, and I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on midnights now, so I'm gonna watch it tonight to keep myself awake.
So here's a tip. As soon as you're finished watching, go look at Matthew Mercer's Twitter.
Okay. Okay.
He posted a video after the session.
Ah,
No. But I mean, he
Oh,
posted,
that they leveled up.
yeah, that they love.
Yeah.
And there was some fun things.
Yeah, I since I follow everybody on Twitter, it kind of ruined it for me. But
oh,
no, I didn't get any crazy spoilers. I just know that Travis went into Paladin. So
well,
I don't know why he did it. I don't know the backstory yet for this episode. I know that he's been toying around with the idea of like choosing a new deity and everything. So very cool decision for him to do that.
yes.
All right, so you guys rest. You're all healed, well, mostly healed up, and you make your way towards Drygulch. Yes? No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should go back towards the coast though, and kind of ride that coastal area.
You can do that.
If you survive.
You can do that, but understand that if you go back north towards the coast, it would probably be a week-long journey to follow the coast all the way around,
Oh.
as
I
opposed to just going straight down to Drygulch.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. I guess we'll just do that then.
Do you still have the map by any chance?
Yes. Now, is there anything to going directly east from where
Gotcha.
the temple was to the coast?
What do you mean, is there anything?
Huh?
What do you mean, is there anything?
Like, okay, so if we were to go directly east
Yes.
coast and then down, you're saying that would take a week?
No, he was saying going back north. But you can go east first, and that would probably be a full 3 days to do that.
Well, I'd say we might as well, if we're going east, we might as well just go southeast and go south.
It's the difference of a day's travel. But it may be safer along the coast because there's one less direction to worry about things.
And as far as we can see, this is all desert.
From where you are, yeah.
I think that, I don't know. I almost think that we should go. I get there 2 days, but
Yeah, I think getting there in 2 days is probably our best bet. We've been kind of skylarking here.
I mean, Phineas needs those airships, so we need to go.
Well, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, we need the sky ships, not Phineas, because he's not really.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
I mean, we've been doing most of the work here.
That's not to say you don't know what's going on in Wizardton either. But you guys have been doing a lot of the legwork.
It's true.
All right, go ahead.
So you guys make your way directly towards Drygulch then, yes.
Yes.
Very good. What kind of a pace are you taking? And I need a marching order.
Yep.
I think I'll be out front.
Okay, Hadvar.
And I'd like to say we're moving at a I think a steady pace, like steady but
Aware.
oh yeah.
So, can we do this? While it's still light out, while we still have some daylight and I'm able to see and Scythe is able to see, why don't we take point?
And then when it goes nighttime, switch it.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I'm assuming that there's not a lot of like pollution, and so like, what's the skies like? What do the skies look like as the sun's going down? Are we gonna be able to travel by the moon and starlight?
Yeah, it's been bright enough, absolutely, and it's a clear sky tonight. It's just hot, but there's very few clouds in the area, and they don't look like storm clouds or anything. They're the long, wispy. I forget what those are called. The really long, wispy clouds.
Cirrostratus.
Yeah, something like that. So you guys, go ahead, Barrow and Titan. You can roll perception as you guys are making your way until nightfall, and then Hadvar, you can roll perception once it goes down. But we'll let Barrow and Titan do his thing first.
And every once in a while, I know Hadvar and I will be sending Atari and Kit out.
Good to know. Okay, I was wondering if you guys were going to be using your owls or not. So everyone roll your perception checks. We'll just do this as like the first night's travel.
18 for Barrow and 19 for Scythe.
Okay.
My owl got a 13.
You have advantage.
Yes, but it was crap.
Oh.
Um,
That's pretty much how the entire night was last
I
night.
got a 17.
Okay. Hadvar and Atari.
All right, Atari's got a natural 20, and I got a natural 20.
Very nice. Great rolls, guys. You guys make your way southeast toward the city of Drygulch, and you see that the dunes, after 2 or 3 hours of traveling, Barrow, it becomes nighttime. You didn't see anything up. There was no movement on the horizon of any kind. Once night falls and the cool air kind of makes its way in, a soft breeze from the east kind of hits the group and cools everyone down. You don't deplete your water sources or anything crazy like that. Hadvar, Amora, Kit, Atari, you guys searching at nighttime, making your way. How long are you traveling? A full 8 hours, 12 hours?
I'd say the plan is to travel through the night until we see daybreak, and then once we see daybreak, I think it's a good idea to start looking for a place for camp.
Just barely pushing exhaustion.
Okay, so you guys are making your way. You notice that the dunes are not so heavy. They're not large mountainous dunes anymore. They're starting to kind of level off. They're starting to create flatter land. And you notice that at times you find yourself at a decline more so than not. So the land itself seems to be dipping ever so slightly as you continuously travel towards the southeast. Like Treebeard said, I like traveling south. It always feels like walking downhill. But
Good.
as you make your way there, Hadvar and Atari, you don't notice any movement. You do notice one pseudo campsite about a mile to the west amongst your journey. It's vacant. It looks like it was abandoned. But you can kind of see like a tarp that was laid down, set up in a circle of sorts. There wasn't much left behind. I would assume that if you wanted to send your owl over there, you guys send your owls that mile. They go and they kind of perch in the campsite and they kind of pick pick at some of the cloth there, you see that there's blood stains on some of the equipment. You can see a few mediocre weapons left behind, and a shield that was there with a symbol on it, unknown to either of you.
What is this symbol? Okay, I don't know. You said
It's
blood.
the symbol is like a C, almost closed into a circle with a dot in the middle of it.
Would Hadvar have known that through his military?
It is not open palm design. Oh, you're saying by being in the open palm, would he have ever dealt with this symbol before? Hadvar, you can roll a history check.
Thanks, Amanda.
Well, I thought since he traveled all over, maybe.
Yeah. He's never made it this far east of the mountains, except for in the forest, but
It's a 13.
it escapes you. You have seen it before in one of your classes, probably studying, growing up in the open palm and learning what forces it reminds you of one of the symbols of a guard as opposed to a mercenary band.
All right, and can I kind of tell like what kind of like? Does it look like there was a big skirt, like somebody was attacked?
There's a few pieces of ripped clothing, and you figure with the weapons that were left behind, maybe someone was too injured to carry it themselves, and they left in a hurry. But there's no bodies here either. It looks like everybody made it out.
And any footprints running away from?
No sign of tracks as the wind kind of brushes the sand in a constant manner, kind of covering most of the tracks.
And is there any smolder in the fire?
No.
Okay.
Is the tarp look salvageable?
Yeah, it's just a large piece of cloth, probably 20 by 30.
It is a half a mile. What you said? It's like 30 minutes out of our way.
Unless you sprint it. Hadvar and Darrow and Titan and maybe Amora. You guys, if you sprint it over that mile, you could probably get there in 8 minutes.
Could I have Kit gather his feet and then I'll bamf the cloth?
Sure. So Kit settles on the tarp and just kind of goes and tries to like bunch it up as much as he can, and he claws it and kind of nuzzles into it and kind of like buries, like makes a little nook for himself, and you bamf him and he leaves and the tarp just kind of sits there all bundled up.
Oh, he can't carry anything?
Yeah, I kind of look over at Amora and I'm just like, yeah, this looks like something that's long been passed. It doesn't look like it deserves our concern.
I was going to use this since it's hot in the sun. I was going to grab the tarp for like protection from the sun for the next day.
20 feet by 30 feet is pretty big. You could wear it as like an enormous cape, like a head bonnet.
Captain Planet.
But so ultimately, there's nothing that really jogs the memory or concerns you outright, except for the obvious signs of a scrap, but no bodies left behind.
Yeah, we can't. I think that it could have been attacked by anybody.
Did I have either of your owls roll an investigation check?
No.
Highest was I rolled, and my highest.
It wouldn't be perception; it would be investigation. So I would ask you to re-roll.
Ooh.
And I don't think they get advantage on investigation checks.
I've got a 17 on the die. -4, so that's 13. Unless I can warg into them to do the investigation. No.
Not unless you're a druid. 1?
-1.
Oh. Yeah, you guys pick through the
Wait, I can't
remnants.
investigate through his eyes?
You would still be using his... You'd have to be a lot closer. I think you have to do that within 100 feet, correct?
Yeah.
So if you guys want to make your way over, you can do it yourselves.
No, I got a 14.
It doesn't find anything but the weapons and whatnot.
Okay.
Spears, mostly. Spears and short swords.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to play the character. I don't think... I mean, I think obviously there's a reason the DM wants us to see this, but Hadvar sees no reason why we should bother with some camp. I mean, we were attacked randomly by some skirmishers, and honestly, I care more about my problems than the problems of some schmuck who set up camp in the middle of the desert.
Some schmuck.
Some schmuck.
I mean, does it look like it could have been those big insect-looking things that attacked us, or?
No.
I would have to get closer to see that, but if it was, I don't really want to...
Yeah, they might still be around, so that might not be.
All right.
Yeah, I say we just keep making headway.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, you guys pass it by. The rest of the day doesn't have anything going on. The sunrise starts to creep in, and you guys are starting to feel it. The heat starts to make itself known and present. If you want, you guys can take your long rest inside of the tent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and
Are
do
you
that.
guys taking watches at all?
Would we still be able to benefit from the long rest by rotating watches?
Yeah, the tent lasts for 8 hours. You would probably rotate in 2-hour shifts. So that way everyone can get 8 hours total. And then you would leave in 12.
Okay. Well, then, yeah. I mean, I can stand some watch. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so who's going to take first watch?
I will.
All right, so Amora casts the hut. Hadvar, go ahead and roll a perception.
Ooh. I'm doing good today. That is a 24.
Your watch goes without any issue. You see a few wildlife, actually, start to make itself present as well. You see a few snakes that skim across the desert sand. 1 or 2 scorpions pass by and get into a fight with a beetle.
Ooh.
You get to watch that for a little bit, but the rest of your watch doesn't have any other concerns. 2 hours in, Hadvar, you're going to knock out. Barrow, you're woken up after a short nap, and it's your watch.
I was going to say, is it possible for me to go third so that I'm as closest to... Oh, no, it's all daylight, right? Never mind.
It's all daylight.
Fine. All right. That is 23.
Same as Hadvar, you don't see any humanoids or monsters or beasts. You see a lot of insects and reptiles coming out, trying to get food here and there, but no issues otherwise.
I also, while I'm kind of keeping watch, I make sure that they're asleep, and then I just kind of, as quietly as possible, talk to Aelor.
Okay.
I don't really know how to do this. I've never really done this before, but thank you for giving me the kick in the ass that I needed to keep going after Titan was taken and watching over us when we were in that temple. Maybe this is stupid.
You say your small thank you, and another 5 minutes goes by, 10 minutes, trying to finish out your watch. You start kind of getting tired again, as you are at that point of exhaustion where it's you have to sleep. And you notice that Scythe kind of gets up, looks at you, and like lays down next to you and kind of like cuddles up against you as you're sitting there and falls back asleep next to you. But your watch is ended, and Amora, are you going to stay up and watch, or are you going to sleep for your full rest and then be done?
Well, I'd still get my full, or no?
You'll get it, but if you...
Well, I kind of wanted to do something while everyone was sleeping.
Let me say this, because there's only 3 of you, and you're in this hut, and you have to rotate and whatnot. If you allow there to be 4 hours of no watching, your tent will dissipate, but then you can recast it as a ritual. Hello. But you can recast it as a ritual so that it stays up for the rest of their rest.
Yes.
Okay. So you do that. You cast it a second time as it's still up to just kind of do that. You wake up and you have 2 hours to just kind of wait for them to finish resting.
So I'm gonna I'm gonna look over at Hagar, and I'm gonna look over at Pharaoh, and I'm gonna get as far away from them without leaving the tent. And I'm just gonna like put my shirt over my face so they can't hear me, and I'm gonna cast sending.
Okay.
To my dad.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna be like, "Hi, Dad. Just missing you. Got a god. Got nice shiny platinum. Hope you're doing well. You don't have to respond if you're in somewhere bad. Just we miss you."
A couple moments pass. There is no response. And right when you're about to relax, you hear his voice chime in. I don't know how you're reaching me, but I'm okay. I'm fighting to get back. And that's it.
Okay. And then I will just look around.
Good?
Nope. Perception? 11.
Yeah. Okay. Nothing else. No humanoids, no beasts, no dangers that you can see.
All of the things happen.
I really wanted to do something else, but I realized I had to leave the hut.
Go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
18.
You're fine. Let me open this door because it's getting warm in here. And then we can start the next day of travel. As the height of the sun starts to crest its tipping point on Barrow's watch, it continues downward on your watch, Amora. And as you have a few hours of daylight left, you guys gather your things and make your way southeast again, yes?
Yeah. Now, we regain half of our hit dice?
Correct.
Your total, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, on a long rest?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you only did half.
You get half of your hit dice, yes, on a long rest.
So, do you round down? So I have 9.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, I have 10.
Oh. You should have 10.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
How many did you spend?
9.
Oh. So you have
4.
6.
5. Wait.
So
You get 4 back.
No, you get 5 back.
you get
Oh,
You get
regardless.
half of your total back.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
okay. I'm like, yeah.
All right. So you guys make your way southeast, and you notice after a few hours of travel and the sun goes down, the pace picks up because the terrain is a lot easier to walk through. It's not heavier sand. It's actually kind of packed down. It's starting to be a little more coarse and easy to walk on. Difficult terrain wasn't an issue for you anyway, but you notice that your pace does pick up at this point in time. And near the everyone roll your perception checks the same as before. We'll do Barrow for the first 2 to 4 hours at night, and then the owls and Amora and Hadvar.
21 for Barrow. And 21 for Scythe.
Nice.
10 for Amora. Unnatural 20 for Kit.
Okay.
And then 22 for Hadvar. And with Atari's advantage on perception checks using his sight and hearing, he got 2 natural ones.
Ooh.
So
Nice.
he like flew into a wall in the middle of the desert or something. I don't know.
It's a magic barrier that he slams into and is killed.
Oh no.
No.
Right down into the sand.
Every time he goes up into the air, he's distracted by a lot of the creatures that he's now seeing. Even though he's a Fae or a Celestial.
Fae?
You get to
Celestial.
make
No,
that
open
choice.
I was open palm celestial. That
Makes more sense. Even though he doesn't necessarily need to eat, you see him instinctually looking at a lot of the insects and bugs on the ground, and he keeps diving down to kind of like pick at them. When you keep telling him, no, go back up and look, and he goes back down, and he starts picking at them, eating bugs and stuff.
He listens like a child.
This is for about 2 minutes at a time. But for the rest of you, at one point in time, at the end of Barrows and at the beginning of Kit's first pass, you do see a roving band on the horizon walking in the same direction, almost as if you're catching up to them. They're walking in the same direction as you. They kind of just crest the horizon into your view. You can see maybe about 6 or 7 things.
Humanoid?
Potentially. Not the scorpion things. They're not big enough to be the scorpion things.
Not Scorpion King's eye. Not a bunch of Dwayne the Rock
No,
Johnson.
yeah, I was just about to, no rocks.
All right.
I can't hear anything that Mandy just said.
Oh, I was whispering to Barrow, I can lay down in the sand and I could make our hut so we're not seen.
Well, we're behind them. I thought we were catching. Like they're moving ahead of
They're
us.
moving at the same pace as you, or you're moving at a faster pace, but you're both moving towards Drygulch by the looks of it.
Do we get a sense that they have lookouts like we do? Like anything flying in the air or...
Based on the perception checks beforehand, no.
Sorry.
I think we should...
I'm going to cast Fireball.
What?
Kobe!
I'd say they're about 3 miles away at this point.
My leg! My...
They're about 3 miles away. You guys can continue, or you can match their pace so that you don't encroach on them, but they don't seem to notice you.
I'd like to get a little bit closer.
Just Hadvar?
How many are there?
I say this to the group. I say, hey, let's there's a group up here. Let's
Approximately. Like if we were going to say there's about
We don't know yet.
5 to 10.
handful.
5 to 10?
It's there's you know how the heat waves in the desert kind of obstruct view and makes everything like shimmer?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to figure out if you're seeing double of a few of them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for all we know, they could just be people that are... What direction are they traveling in?
Southeast.
One direction.
They're headed to... They look like they're heading towards Drygulch.
Where the hell would they have been coming from?
We slept, so...
Well, they're obviously not sand people because they're not moving in a single straight line to cover up their numbers.
Sure. Natch.
People never walk in straight lines. No, they do.
Anyways, so if you do want to get a little closer and have your owl make another pass, now that there's something different and specific to look at, I would allow you to do another roll.
Yes.
Would
I say we catch up a little bit and let the owls get another.
So I
Let's
want to
see.
strategically move the try to.
Would we get the impression that this might be linked to the camp that we passed? Like
Coming from that direction.
the blood would have been as dry as it was from people that were there this close to us?
The blood dries very quickly in the heat and the sand.
We were
soaks it
also a
up.
mile away, so we didn't really get a good investigation.
Hard to say.
Okay.
I
Well,
think we
I was going to say maybe they're just people like traveling through the desert, but
I-
now it might be people that like killed people that were there. So,
Cool, let's catch up and slaughter them.
I mean, there's like 5 to 10, but sure, yeah, okay.
I'm gonna just sit there and kind of like wave my staff.
Has it been a week since we were in the mountain?
It's only been like 3 days because the pyramid was the same day as us.
No, there was a day in between that because you camped at the top of the mountains. Then the pyramid, then a day's travel, then another day's travel.
Oh, I get my thing back.
Yeah, at dawn. So I'd say you have 2.5 more days.
Damn it. Okay.
Go get them.
So I have a DM question.
Sure.
So I have branding smite.
Yes.
Can I use that on an ally?
How do you have that?
Huh?
Branding smite?
You gave it to her in a prayer bead.
So that's
Oh.
my prayer beads.
Oh. You can cast that on whoever you want,
Okay.
but you're going to do damage. You have to use a melee attack.
He left it under her pillow before he left.
Like the Tooth Fairy.
So, but it's a range of self. But I thought if I pulled it,
Oh,
It says range of self that has to be cast on you.
but it's a bead.
I
So,
understand.
Yeah. So that's
if you
like
give the bead to someone else.
If you had the bead and you smashed it on him, it would cast it on yourself by smashing it. If you gave the bead to somebody else, you'd have to give the necklace to somebody else because they are attached. They're not removable beads.
Exactly.
See, and that's why I wondered about the cure wounds because the cure wounds is touch. Well, it's touch, not.
It's a
Yeah.
touch spell, not a
That's
self
different
spell.
self.
I just wrote gibberish.
Oh, baby.
Okay.
So, make another roll for your owls if you guys want to circle this band of things.
Misfits.
Guessing it's sleeping now.
I'll make it upstairs.
Oh, wow.
I'll try. Cool, that's better. I got a nat 20.
18.
Both your owls are able to get close enough, within a mile, because they do have very good sight, to see that there are 6 individuals, humanoid, armed, and it looks like 4 of them are carrying one on a stretcher of sorts, kind of handmade. 2 of them have the shields that you saw back at the camp, and they're all of a race that you have not dealt with as often. There are 3 metallic dragonborn, there is a goblin, and there are 3 Aarakocra. So 7.
Question: in your world, I can't remember the metallic dragons were not inherently bad.
Metallic dragonborns are good. Chromatic dragonborns are bad.
Yes, and then the Akroka.
You guys have not dealt with them. Your studies at the Open Palm, they're kind of like a neutral, kind of like the goblins. Kind of depends on the band of them.
Okay, so goblins there are good. There are known to be not evil goblins.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. I didn't know if this was like straight up like Lord of the Rings. Oh, that's a goblin, kill it, or if this is like.
No, there are goblins in this world that have, in previous ages, benefited a lot of the industry and mechanical and even magic side of.
So
production.
Magic the Gathering goblins, not okay.
Or even World of Warcraft goblins. You know, they have that kind of very similar to gnomes. They're just kind of frowned upon because there's so many barbaric tribes of them.
Okay.
But there are a few that have really benefited society as a whole.
Gotcha.
Which one is on the stretcher?
One of the Aarakocra. Nope. I'm sorry. It is a gold-plated dragonborn. You see, out of the 3 dragonborn that are there, gold, bronze, and copper.
All right.
And you're
You have met one metallic dragonborn before. Back in Wizardton. Hadvar, you did not. But, I mean, your leader is metallic silver dragonborn, Master Grand.
Well, my ex-leader.
Ex-leader. But there was an open palm guard back in Wizardton that was kind of palling around with Nagaru, the Tabaxi, Auralax, the gold dragonborn.
Bless you. And if they're holding the same shield as the one that was left.
Some of them have that same shield strapped to their back, yes.
Well, this kind of makes me feel like maybe these people aren't all that bad.
Yeah.
I say we keep our distance, but I want to get close enough that if they were to do a perception check, they would know that we were there.
Okay.
I don't want them to be surprised by us.
Sure.
But I'm going to say that to the group and ask them if that's okay.
That's all right. I was doing a roll for the owls as they kind of had to get relatively close.
What do you guys think of that? I think we should at least let them know that.
That way, I mean, we're not, as long as they're not gonna, I mean, as long as they're not threatening, we're not gonna.
We'll keep our distance, but we'll yeah.
You said they're how far away? Or a mile?
They are about 3 miles. Your owls got within a mile.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're probably okay.
Yeah, I think we should just, I mean, stay cautious, but then.
Would Barrow have encountered Aarakocra or goblins when he was in the wilderness?
Roll a percentage die for me. Wait, let me make the numbers up in my head before you roll. Okay.
52.
You dealt with goblins in a negative capacity near the orc tribes.
I had a feeling that might be the case.
A lot of the goblins that you know have worked with the orcs. Actually, all of the goblins that you know worked with the orcs.
So I've never seen a goblin working with creatures that, typically speaking, are not evil.
Correct.
So there's
So I relay that to them.
I still think, I still think that we should keep our distance and just not approach. Just keep our distance where we still see where they are. Keep an eye on them. Make sure that none are missing. And
I mean, I kind of have a feeling that they're not bad. And if they're carrying somebody on a stretcher, they've already had kind of a rough time out here.
they're probably going to Drygulch.
I feel like if we're going to get closer, I'd like to get close enough that if they get into trouble again, we can help them.
Yeah, and we're already at an advantage because we're pretty well rested and they're obviously a little beat to shit. So
And I can always help the guy on the stretcher if I need to.
All right.
So what are you guys doing with this group?
I think we're gonna try to catch up to the point, and my plan is to have Atari, kind of like fly up there and kind of like land in front of them and kind of like try to just like.
So
So
give a little.
I mean,
Uh,
don't we
and
have
kind of like do the Zazu thing where he kind of like.
the big bow.
don't we have like a piece of parchment that we could like write a hey, we come in peace type of deal, and
Hey, look behind you. I'm not falling for that again.
if like if you want to camp together for safety or something like that,
Well,
we could do that.
I could try to message
Or you know what?
them.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna write friend or foe ? On a thing, and roll it up, give it to Atari, and have Atari roll over and kind of like do the Zazu thing, and then like drop the letter on the sand and kind of take a few steps back.
Make sure you put the check boxes. You got to put the check boxes so that they can check.
With the check boxes.
Okay, so check boxes next to friend or foe. Nothing else on it.
We mean you no harm.
We'll put
Friends of the.
No, because we don't want to assume sides. Because if we do, they might assume our side. I'm just putting friend or foe because if they.
Okay.
Yeah.
And off it goes.
Are you bad?
I assume this is all.
Wait. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the open palm symbol.
That's. I was wondering if you wanted to do the open palm.
Yeah,
So,
I'm going to put the open palm symbol at the top.
The palm with the shield around it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And friend or foe?
Yeah.
Okay, so you send it off. You see Atari get over there, gets outside of your 100-foot range to Warg. He goes, I assume this is all being done walking and talking. He sits down. You assume he completes the task at hand. A while goes by. You do see them stop after Atari makes it to about where they are. So you know that they're interacting.
I'm gonna send my owl out just to see what's going on.
Okay, so your owl goes out and just keeps a mile-ish.
Just to let me know if something bad happened. So if they tried to.
Also outside of your range to speak with him.
Yeah, so I just want to say, hey, just keep an eye if anything goes wrong.
Come back or something.
Yeah, warn us
Okay.
if something happens.
So after about 10 minutes, you finally see Atari making its way back with the parchment in its beak, kind of out to the side. He flies over, and he gets down. Kit comes back with him, and they're both kind of like pecking at each other, playing. And he puts the parchment on the ground, you open it up, and there is a third box that says neither, and it checked itself.
I like them. All right. Very well. And then I will, at the bottom of that, need aid. ?
A question mark? You're asking them if they need aid?
Yeah.
Okay, and you send it over?
Yeah. Now, do I notice what they're doing? Did they change? Once Atari goes up, I kind of want to ping, like, did they change course? Did they slow down?
They didn't change course, but you see two of them, they changed formation.
Yeah.
Yes, they definitely changed formation into what is very recognizable as a defensive formation for a rear attack.
Okay.
So they know you're behind them. They watched the owl go back and forth, So they are aware of your presence, but it looks like they are more keen on continuing their journey. Atari comes back, and in large letters that kind of blot out the rest of it, it says yes.
All right. Well then, shit. I don't think I have a healing potion.
No, but I have a bead that I can heal the.
Yeah, but I can't. You can't send
I
a
can heal.
bead.
Well, Atari's touch, so I can cast it through. I'm sorry, I can cast it through Kit, and Kit can touch the.
Hold,
How
hold
fast can I get there?
Hold on to your bead. I can
Yeah.
heal.
Yeah, I also have healing.
Oh, that's right. You have the cha-cha guy.
And I have burning hand or healing word.
Burning hands. Oh, I can help you. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So you guys make your way over. You pick up the pace. You were already gaining on them.
Yeah.
So now if you pick up your pace, you can make it to them in the next 20, 25 minutes.
So I think we should
I'm gonna ride on Scythe just so that we're making better time, and I'm going to have my rifle ready to go.
Sure.
Just in case I get a bad feeling.
So I think that you should send another parchment that just says, "We're coming over. We mean you no harm."
Well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my sword and my shield, and I'm gonna, and then or my not my sword, my shield, my staff and my shield. I'm gonna latch my so like it would visibly be, I would have to grab it, like I'm stowing it. I'm going to make a mental note here for DM that my shotgun is still my conjurable.
Oh, your linked Eldritch Knight weapon.
Yes. So my
Okay.
shotgun and dagger are also kind of like
The Arcanoloth dagger.
yes.
Yes.
So just in mind.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm walking completely like I look very as not imposing as possible.
Very polar opposites between Barrow and Hadvar. Very good.
Yes.
Now,
But
I would say
I'm not
like,
saying you're threatening. It's at the low ready, but it's in your hands.
it's kind of resting on Scythe. Like it's
Okay.
down off to the side. Like okay, so like an old Western movie when the Indians come up and they've got like a rifle that's like sitting on top of the horse.
Pretty threatening.
They-
Dude with a gun in his hands.
They want you to know, look, don't fuck with me, but we're cool right now.
Your intentions and their perceptions are two very different things.
which is why I am going up. I would like to. I'm going to make sure. Listen, let me go ahead of you. Give me like 20 feet or so. I'm going to go up as least threatening as possible.
You're back.
It's like
The birds are still pecking at each other. But you guys make your way. Are you sending anything over then? As you make your way over?
Are there dunes or anything off to one side or the other?
It has flattened out considerably. There are dunes, but they're still about a mile off as well.
Okay.
They're much. There's a lot more space in between each of the dunes. So every once in a while there'll be a big hump in the land, just like any other hill in Pennsylvania, kind of a deal, or Virginia, where it's just kind of like random hill.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything really I can send, so I'm just going myself.
Okay. After a time, you guys get within 100 feet to the point where, well, maybe I should do this first. Oh, you guys get within about 300 feet, and one of them very obviously acknowledges that you're back there, and you see him tell the rest of the group, as you see the goblin that was kind of actually leading the pack fall to the back and kind of start trailing behind as the rest of them continue to move forward. You're gaining on all of them, and you see him. He's there with very dark brown mottled skin, very patchy, with like bits of light brown speckled throughout. His ears come out and they kind of like hang down at the sides. You see his fangs poking through his mouth as he's holding a hand crossbow and a dagger, just kind of down by his side. You guys are within talking distance eventually.
so Hadvar, I can send them a message since we're close enough. Is there anything you want me to tell them?
Just let them know that if they need aid, we can offer it.
So I will cast message, and I will get that little piece of wire, and I'll speak through it and say, we're here. If you need aid, we can help. We don't mean you any harm.
Okay.
You can reply to this message.
Of course. You hear him call back. We were attacked in the night. We have to get back, and we need a healer.
I cast it again. We have healing. We can help.
You see him, his ears kind of like perk up, and he turns and runs back to them. And you see the whole group stop and kind of lay this stretcher down as they're all looking to you guys expectantly.
When I see that, I'm gonna go like full battle medic, and I'm gonna. I don't think I have a healing kit, but yeah, no, I'm gonna probably get like some cloth out. Maybe I have for like possibly prepping up, having some bandages, get my water out and
Sure.
rations. I am gonna pick up the pace, but I'm also gonna kind of signal to Barrow to kind of like keep up just in case.
Yeah, I'm slinging the rifle at seeing that,
Mm-hmm.
and Scythe and I will take off
Down
and
forward.
overtake Hadvar.
Yeah. So you guys, Amora, you as well, sprinting. You guys all make your way over there, and you finally make your way into this group of very similarly outfitted guard. It looks like some of them have that symbol on their chest. A lot of them have it on the shield. You see them bloodied, dirty, covered in sand, a lot of dried blood at the corners of the mouth or over an eye. The individual on the stretcher is a gold-plated dragonborn, which has a lot of his scales. Looks like they had been ripped out, and he's bleeding from a lot of different places, from over his arms, his legs, and his back. You see a large gash go from his eye down to his jawline, where his face looks like it was just cut open. And his veins are extremely visible, but as opposed to the lighter tint, they are a dark, dark black, all on his neck and on his forehead. You can see him actively struggling to breathe.
Oh, okay. So I'd like to kind of try to triage and kind of look who is the worst off.
Him.
So
Okay.
he looked diseased.
Was he the one laying down?
He's the one that's in the stretcher. He's just like laying there trying to breathe. You can see him.
I'm going right on him, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds. As soon as I get there, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to cast Cure Wounds.
Okay, go ahead and roll your dice.
DM is.
Oh wait, I don't have Cure Wounds. I have Healing Word. So as soon as I get within
60 feet.
Is it 60 feet? Shit. I should have this. I'm sorry. I want to buy those cards. They look very useful.
They are extremely useful. Is this affliction anything that I would have seen or come across at any point?
Oh man. Stand by.
Huh?
Stand by. Stand by.
Yeah, it's 60 feet. So as soon as I get within 60 feet, I guess. Well, as soon as I can see that, because I don't know if I'd see that from 60 feet.
Does healing get rid of disease?
No. Nor poison, nor disease and poison. Healing doesn't outright cure them. You have to cast Cure Disease, remove Curse, whatever the case may be. Go ahead and roll. I'll let you do it this way. You can roll another percentage die, or you can roll a history check. Whatever you feel more comfortable doing.
Percentage die it is.
And I mean, are we up? I want to, once we get up there, ask what happened and.
21.
That's your percentage die, not a history check, right?
Correct.
Yes, percentage.
Okay. You faintly recall a story that Ursrith spoke about when he was with his Dragonborn tribe, but you can't remember the details. It kind of rang a few bells. The black veins kind of rang a few bells for you.
but like this is really bad. Like this person is.
You remember him talking about it, but no questions were asked. No, you didn't get any details. It wasn't really harped on. He didn't really want to talk about it too much. It looks pretty bad.
Okay.
So you cast a healing word. As you shout out, you can see some of the bleeding kind of stop and kind of some of the wounds kind of cinch closed just a little bit. But you can still see the veins pulse pretty rapidly. And you still see them black on his forehead and neck as he's trying to breathe, but you can see that it is extremely difficult for him to do so.
What happened?
We were attacked by these dragonborn. We didn't see them coming. We're trying to get him back to the city as fast as possible.
What is wrong with him? Why are his veins so...
Their weapons are poisoned. We don't have anything to get rid of it.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead. Does everybody else look like they're fine to like make it?
Yeah, they look beat up, but they're not poisoned like he is.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm like, give him to me. I got him, and I'm gonna see if I can. Basically, I want to kind of like
Fireman
style, Yoda carry him, and
Very cool.
I'm just gonna. How close? Can I see Drygulch from where we're at? Like the
Not
city
yet.
hall?
I
You
can
know you're getting close.
I can pull my bead of lesser restoration.
Oh. Yeah. So, okay.
So, Hadvar, you go, you say, I got this. You grab him with one hand and just go whoop right onto your shoulder. And Amora goes, wait. You run up and you cast Lesser Restoration.
It's my bead.
Yeah, you use the prayer necklace. It's a necklace.
Oh, I just imagine like candy beads.
That's
No.
what I was thinking.
It's a prayer necklace that has beads on it, but they are not like removable beads. It's a very ornate.
Grab on to the lesser restoration, and I will cast lesser restoration.
Can you read the spell for me real quick, just to make sure it's gonna do what you think it is?
You touch a creature and you can end one disease or one condition afflicting it. The condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, poisoned.
Very good. You cast Lesser Restoration, and you see him kind of suck in breath through his teeth as you see him wince in pain, but you can see the veins start to retract, the black markings on his neck and forehead, as you see him lose consciousness, but potentially is okay from between the heel.
He did
but
gain
he's over
10 points of life. I don't know if that mattered.
How many?
10.
Okay.
How bitched up did the rest of the group look?
Pretty bad. They're cut open. That's why they were moving so slowly. Some of them are limping, but they were trying to carry this guy.
Okay, so Barrow says, "It's all right, don't be alarmed." And I cast a wolf healing spirit,
Yes.
and I'm just going to have him weave in and out
Of the whole group.
Yeah, and especially the dude in the center.
What do you heal every time you pass through it?
It is...
Such a cool spell.
I like it. The conga line of healing.
Yeah.
1d6.
Roll 6d6 for me.
6 or 10?
6.
Okay. Because it lasts for a minute.
I understand. But they're spread out, and he's weaving through all of them.
$14.
Okay, so everyone heals 14 points. You see a lot of them they look exhausted. They all just kind of stop and they look at you. And one of the Aarakocra, which is red feathered with like a very yellow beak, he stands taller than most of them. And he has a big spear in his hand that he's just kind of leaning on. Thank you. I'm not sure we were going to make it. I didn't know if you would survive. Who are you? Why are you coming this way?
We're headed to Drygulch.
That is our charge to protect the city. We were on a patrol and were attacked by the foul black dragonborn tribes. Again, they pushed north further and further. But they were defeated and sent back for now. But if it weren't for you, I don't think our friend would have made it.
Well, we're glad we could help. That we made it in time.
We are as well. But perhaps we should travel together. It's only another day's travel to Drygulch and strength in numbers, right?
Yeah.
I'll help carry. I'm gonna carry. Does anybody? Is he still good? Like, did he get up?
No, he passed out.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna keep him like.
Yeah, he's on your shoulder. He's completely dead weight.
All right.
He weighs about 350 pounds.
Oh.
But for Hadvar, you watched him do this. Grab this dude and just lift him up and put him on his shoulder.
So
I'm Barrow.
Hi.
I'm a
So
more.
take Jivyu.
Abo?
I'm sorry, what?
Bless you.
My name. That's my name. Soteg Jivyu.
I see Hadvar having a really rough time carrying this dude.
No,
It's
no,
not-
you do not.
No.
He is not. He's 350 pounds and Hadvar's carrying him like it's a baby.
Oh.
He's got the belt of giant strength.
I was gonna cast Tensor's floating disc so he could just
You
lay.
really want to use that?
It's so good.
You can use that if you'd like.
But that way we all have our hands free.
You can cast it. No one's going to stop you from casting a spell.
I'm just gonna wait. I'll wait.
Who? This is Hadvar, by the way. Who are the rest of your group?
We're just patrol. We all come from Drygulch. I can go through their names, but we're all pretty exhausted at the moment. If you wouldn't mind, we can talk maybe over camp. The sooner we get back to town, the better.
Yeah, let's get the heck out of here. So I think we should kind of do like a little formation. I'm fine with the Tensor's floating disc, if you want to do that, and that
Do
way
you
I can
cast a
kind of,
ritual
like-
spell, or do you cast it?
It's ritual.
So a disc appears that hovers over the ground. Amora beckons you to lay him on. And you flop him down gently, and you see the disc kind of go and just kind of sustain itself once it balances the weight out and just kind of holds him 5 feet off the ground.
All right. And then I think we should kind of take like a perimeter like formation with the four
There's
of us.
10 of you, essentially. Well, 8, I guess, not including the injured and Scythe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Amora's going to have to be toward the front
Well,
because
the
the disc follows
her.
that's fine. All right.
Well, and I want to pull out my freshly filled up as if I have as much water as I can left over.
Sure. Oddly enough, when you take your water skin back out, it's full.
Mine.
I've already drank half of it.
Does that happen to all of ours?
Yes. You notice yours is full again. Hadvar, if you check yours, it is also full from being half empty.
I mean, I'm gonna take a sip and I'm gonna notice that, but I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay.
That's
So I offer it to Sotag.
yeah. I offer them the water.
And the rest of them, the other Dragonborn, take it.
I'll-
When you see them guzzle a lot of it, they hand it back to you empty.
That's
For how, it's probably about a gallon that it can hold, I would assume. I don't know. Sure, a gallon. Gallon canteens are big,
I
but
mostly handed it to Sotag first because I wanted to see how an Aarakocra would drink out of a canteen.
he holds it up and just opens his mouth.
Oh.
He doesn't go or like with his tongue, just kind of like nam 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 nam. No, he just opens his beak out and then you see him kind of pour the water in.
Cool.
But
There you go.
all of your water is now gone. And you guys, not having been up for as long of a time, but they are much more exhausted. It is nighttime. they want to bed down, and you can start to reacclimate yourselves to a regular sleep cycle if you want to take a long rest with them.
I will, and I will put the tent up. I will do the Lehman's tiny hut, and
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the tent is a 10-foot radius.
and it can only fit. It fits 9 creatures of medium size or smaller.
Okay.
So imagine it.
One person would have to stay out at a time.
That'll be me.
Okay.
Whoever's doing patrol.
I'll be good.
Well, we can switch off. Like, let's do shifts so that we're all getting long rest and just one person.
Hadvar, as you step out for the shift, the patrol, one of the other Dragonborn, the Copper Dragonborn, kind of takes watch with you, but gives you space. He doesn't look like he's, gonna bother you at all, but he's out there. He kind of keeps on the other side. If you're doing walk-arounds, he kind of gets the other side of it.
Okay. Question that I meant, did that what I asked you happen, or should I use this?
Yes, roll a d4 for me.
Okay. 1.
So you tap into the shield on your watch previously. Actually, it would make more sense if you did it now because you're not inside of the tent and you won't disturb anyone.
Yeah.
The shield is able for the air element, if you tap into it for 1 round, to give any ranged attacks, spell or projectile, disadvantage.
Nice.
As a wind kind of starts surrounding you like a small tornado.
Dope.
And if you wanted to find out the rest of them, you could do that. You could tap in, and instead of taking watch, you can figure out what this shield does.
I'll watch. I'll stay watch.
Okay. So roll a perception check. I'll roll for him.
And then can I also use Atari?
Yes, absolutely.
So I got a 10.
Okay.
Oh, Atari got a 22.
Atari goes out pretty far. You just tell him to go figure out if there's anything in the area. He catches a glimpse of the town on the horizon. Once he went out for about an hour of just flying, and then he came back. He was able to see a glimpse of the town and the coast as you guys are getting closer to the edge of the continent again. But your watch goes without any issues. Does anybody want to do anything over the course of the night? Talk to anyone. You don't have to talk to anybody. You can just rest and then get to the town.
I was going to try and talk to Sotag and get
some of the other guys.
Yeah, get a better sense of who they are, what their names are,
our plan,
what it is that they do.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
Just as a overall talking to them favorably.
Cool.
To see how much information you garner.
17.
Okay. You learn that Drygulch has their own guard that they employ as a privatized kind of police force. They kind of keep to themselves. A lot of the town is made up of the Aarakocra, mostly. And the Metallic Dragonborn moved in earlier on in the foundation of this town hundreds of years ago when they were called in to help fight some of the Chromatic Dragonborn and push them off of the northern continent. So a lot of the Chromatic Dragonborn came from the northern continent, and the Metallic Dragonborn followed and pushed them down to further near the orcs. Their town is the pinnacle of engineering. They try to keep a lot of it secret and away from the rest of the world because a lot of it is so dangerous. And you do learn that there was a recent breakthrough on skyships where they started making them en masse. He's unfamiliar with a lot of the ins and outs. He's not an engineer himself. The goblin kind of fills in those gaps where he talks about the capabilities of each of them and how each one has been enchanted with magical properties to defend itself in different ways. But because they are so volatile and dangerous, a lot of them have had failed flights and a lot of accidents. A lot of people have died trying to make these work.
What is the goblin's name? I would have asked that.
Glorb. Glorb.
Glorb.
Yeah, I would want to ask if they know what's going on in Wizardton, if they've had any contact from Wizardton, if they know.
Soteg lets you know that there is a emissary from the Open Palm that got word
Bye, Jen.
that there's an emissary, kind of like an ambassador from the Open Palm that resides in Wizardton that had gotten word, but they have not felt the effects of anything catastrophic based on what information they received. I don't know how much you guys are willing to tell them.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
Yeah, and that we are seeking aid.
Okay. Soteg, you know, it's not my place to bestow aid, but I can put you in contact with the people that can.
Really?
That would be amazing, actually.
I think the first stop back will be at the Clipped Wing. It's a tavern we all frequent, but perhaps I can set up a meeting with some of the higher ups of the town.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's the least we can do. You saved our friend.
Kind of what we do.
It's appreciated. I'm sure he'll thank you when he wakes up.
I would like to kind of strike up a conversation with the Dragonborn out there. While I'm out there like fidgeting with my shield or anything, does he?
Sure.
You know, I kind of just want to be like, I want to ask him like, been in Drygulch long?
My whole life.
What do you know about the Tabaxi?
I know they're an honorable race. We don't see too many of them. They used to live on this side of the continent, but they moved inward towards the grasslands, the plains. They seem to like it there.
Hmm. You know anything about like their history?
No, I don't. Not a history buff myself, just a guard.
Hmm. What's your name?
Golmunk.
Golmunk. Hadvar.
Nice to meet you. And he goes to shake your hand.
I'll put my hand out and we'll shake.
You see him kind of like look for a second, like, geez, like you squeeze his hand just as a regular handshake, but you're still not like attuned to it. And you see him kind of like reflexively pull his hand back.
Never mind. I was going with a line of questioning, but I realized that you guys got anything on the coast?
Our town sits off the coast.
Like ships?
Well, ships we're working on don't use water. But we have a harbor.
I'd say maybe shit, I can't think of the word. Sages, scribes, like an ancient archaeologist. What would I ask for? I can't.
Y'all have Indiana Jones out there?
Yeah, basically. You got an Indiana Jones?
You
got anybody that knows anything?
You learned that there was a store that like sifts gems from the ocean floor and like pearls and stuff and dives down. You find out that there's a bed of clams known to rest off of the eastern coast that have elemental properties, probably from the war years back, that is used in a lot of different foods. They're very expensive. It's one of their main exports.
I'm very curious about the sifter. I ask him more information about that.
There's a shop he runs in town. You can probably visit him there.
Got the name of that shop?
I don't know it. It's, if you ask for the guy that deals in gems, someone can point you in the right direction.
All right.
It's on the other side of the city. I don't get over there much.
I'll give him some of my flasks because I didn't share my water earlier.
Okay.
And, I'll give him some of my
You
flasks.
guys take a few sips.
Yeah, a little sippy sip. And then I would like to just kind of like, kind of shoot the shit a little bit, just kind of have like a little conversation.
Yeah, you see him relax after a point in time. He was kind of keeping you at arm's length, and he kind of relaxes after an hour or so when he realizes that you're, on the up and up.
Do I see if the goblin has any like tinkering things on him? Anything that looks shiny that
It looks like a lot of his weapons have gears on them. His crossbow, his dagger, very steampunk kind of looking. He has a pair of goggles on top of his head. A lot of his vest that has the embroidered symbol on his chest have chains, like something that's hooked to each in pockets all over him.
I just want to like sit down, like Indian style, like plop down and.
He actually has his knife and he's picking out dirt from underneath his like 2-inch toenails.
Yeah.
Like flicking the dirt out from underneath his toenails. He's like sniffing it every now and then.
Your stuff's really, really cool. I
Oh,
didn't see anything like that.
Yeah, I made most of it myself. Yeah, it's fun, something I do to tinker with. And he shows the knife and then he like spins it around his finger and you see the blade. There's 2 blades. There's one in the handle and you see them rotate as he spins it. So he's spinning it and then the blades spin at the same time.
That's
Kind of
really
like a butterfly knife. And then he catches it and it's all closed in a handle.
I like pick up my dagger and I try to spin it and it like
Make a dexterity check.
and it like flies off. Get in the box. That's a natural 20.
Oh, so you're like, oh, that looks fun. And you take it out and you throw it and you did it way too hard where it hits the top of the bubble. And as you're like, oh, geez, as it comes down, it hits your hand and you're like trying to fumble with it. It actually like rotates around your arm twice before you catch it. Like, oh, that was really impressive. I have to use these gears to do anything fancy, but
But does it take you very long to do that?
oh, well, it's my design, so, I kind of know how it works.
It's really cool. What is it made out of?
Steel. And he just like pings it off the sand, tink, tink.
I like reach in my bag and I get like that handful of like unrefined silver from the mine.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay.
I'm
Oh.
like,
What-
do you think that would be enough to like do something with?
Well, you'd have to go to a blacksmith to get it melted down first. And, I worked with this knife. I just took the pieces apart. I don't know how to smelt and hammer out things. You could probably find a blacksmith to work with it if you wanted to. Is that silver?
I think.
And he like goes to reach for it. You let him take a piece.
Mhm.
He sniffs it, like licks it a few times, and like he pops it in his mouth. He like swirls it in his cheek and spits it back out. Goes, oh, that's pretty pure. Here you go. And he hands it back. It's covered in gross mucus. Yeah, that's good silver. I don't know where you got that. That's usually found on the other side of the mountains. Are you from over there?
Yes.
Yes.
You are from the
We
other side
are
of the mountain.
from the other side of the mountain.
Yeah, I guess so. It kind of, look like you're from around this side of the continent. No, but you could probably get that smelted down into something nice. I don't know how much of it you have.
I don't know. I like pieces.
Put it away. Just wipe it off a few times. He keeps picking his toenails.
This is all inside the tent, right?
Most of it, yes.
Okay.
Oh, all of them, yes. You are outside with the other guy.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask Sotag about the Black Dragonborns.
We're
and,
not.
and that encounter. Just because Barrow's had some experience with them, right?
Yes. Mostly stories, one interaction, very similar to the orcs. Just barbaric. They wanted to steal. They're very primal, very base instinct level mentality.
I actually had a run-in once with them too, and
I'm surprised you survived.
yeah, that's kind of something that I've learned to do over the years. Did any of them have any like discernible markings or clothing about them?
Not that I bothered to look. They're all savages.
No, like shields or like light blue tabards or anything like that, or anything.
You definitely start to eye you a little differently. Are you looking for someone specific?
Just one that I had come across at one point.
None with a blue tabard. They typically don't wear.
That's what Ursurith wore, right? Blue?
Yes,
Okay.
blue and white.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I was just curious.
No, most of them rove individually in smaller bands, but they are all under one banner.
So before we go to bed, I want to cast Sending to Phineas.
Okay.
And say, we made it through the pyramid. We survived. Good stuff. We're at Drygulch. We're on our. I guess we're not at Drygulch, but we're. In my words. Trying
So
not.
we're at Drygulch. Almost.
We're almost to Drygulch. Met a band of guards. Hopefully we can supply soon.
Hopefully was the last word.
I'll recast. Supply aid soon.
Oh, very good. I didn't expect a message so late at night, but that's okay. We are starting to struggle back here. Despite our resources, their numbers grow exponentially in recent weeks. Please come soon.
If they're sleeping, I'll relay that in the morning.
Okay. So no other business. You guys get your long rest. Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to while we're sitting out there talking, because I forgot that I could do this. I'm gonna just start casting prestidigitation to start cleaning them up a little bit.
Oh, you just cast it, and you see a lot of the dust and like the dried blood on his forehead just kind of fade away. You see his clothing become nice again. A lot of his armor looks like it was polished as you cast the spell over it. He seems extremely grateful for that. He seems a little awkward to just stand there and kind of like receive this from you. It's like bathing a grown man. He doesn't really know how to handle that.
I mean, I'm gonna do that as I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of trying to be nonchalant about it. Like we're just kind of there sitting there like talking, and I just put my hand on his shoulder as we're talking, and I start like casting.
All the dirt just melts away, and it's super nice. Yeah. He smells faint lavender in the air.
What kind of armor are they wearing?
Mostly leather. A few of them have metal breastplates, but leather that goes over top of it.
Okay.
Mostly leather.
Okay.
But if there's nothing else, you guys wake up. There was no other issues, and you make your way towards the city, which after another 6 to 8 hours of travel, you finally see it on the horizon. Kit and Atari are able to scout ahead if you guys are curious enough to like see the city from a bird's eye view, quite literally. Yes?
Yeah, I'll send them out.
Nat 20. And I relayed the information to Barrow and Hadvar that Wizardton is struggling.
Message received? Yes?
I mean, what? I don't know what he wants from us. We're going as quickly as we can. I mean, admittedly, much faster now that there's only 3 of us. For some reason, it feels like we're able to get into missions a lot faster, like almost like every week now. I don't know.
Weird. So you guys finally make your way closer to the city, and you see that there is part of the ocean. It's a beach town. It's completely level. You guys have made it close enough to the coast that you see the water and the ocean rushing up onto the land and rescinding its way back in, and rushing up and rescinding its way back in. Nice cool breeze off the ocean. You see 4 watchtowers. No, more than that. Nope, 4 watchtowers.
Do we get a sense that Glorb is the leader of this group?
They haven't really mentioned anybody leading the pack. Soteg and Glorb seem pretty... Everyone's kind of listening to them. You feel like they may have different roles in this group, but nobody necessarily leads them. If you guys want to check your phones, I sent you a picture of Drygulch's map so that you guys can see what it looks like.
It has some freaking amazing eyesight.
But after a few passes, you see that the town has been, quote unquote man-made, where a lot of the land has been dug up to create pseudo rivers for people to get through the city easily rather than walking from place to place. There are walking bridges over each of those rivers. There are watchtowers that stand about 100 feet tall, one at either base of the ocean, which you see now are lighthouses, as well as watchtowers. And then there's one on either corner at the other end of the city as well.
Cool.
The city is fairly large. It's about 20 square miles. So it's a fairly large space for people to reside in. And you can see a lot of activity. You see Aarakocra flying from place to place all over, carrying messages, carrying property, just traveling. A lot of them just choose to fly since they can out here. You see, oh, well, since they can fly. You see a lot of families down by the beaches before the city, like north of the city. And you can see right where the 2 lighthouses are on the other side is a large harbor that has several docked ships that are fairly large. But most importantly, what catches your eyes is in the center of town, there seems to be large raised wooden platforms that stand almost above the city itself, almost at the same height as the watchtowers. And on these platforms, you can see ladders and stairs that weave in and out. There's 2 of these platforms in the middle of town, and each of them have 4 large ships on them of completely different design. Almost it looks like there's 2 helicarriers in the middle of the town that are holding these ships.
Huh.
So as you guys make your way down there, the chit chat between Soteg and Glorb and the rest of you and the rest of the group there They get you in through the city gates easily enough, and we'll pick up there next time, entering Drygulch, making your way to the Clipped Wing Tavern next time.
Can I whisper to Hadvar?
Cool.
Hadvar, I really think you should brush his toes. Like the goblin.
That's what I wanted to do. Like when you was talking about clipping his toenails, I wanted to press the digitation his toenails, but I wasn't in there.
Gross.
So nasty.
If you do that in the walk at some point in time, he'll like sit there with his feet up, like, okay, we'll see how it goes. And you can cast prestidigitation, and all of the gunk that's stuck in his toe, like underneath the nail, just goes flop and like glops down underneath him. And he starts wiggling his toes. Oh, that feels so much better.
See, you know what? I don't know why people with these powers become adventurers. I could just open up a salon
Very much so.
and make so much money.
You could. You can do anything you want in this campaign.
You know what? I'm done. I'm done
Setting
traveling.
up shop in Drygulch.
Setting up shop in Drygulch.
The beach town. Got everything you need there.
The orc stylist. I'm gonna get like really long nails and come in here and be like, okay, what can we do for you?
Clack, 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 clack.
Hadvar's retirement plan.
Not a bad retirement. Not a bad retirement.
So, well, I guess Hadvar wouldn't have told us about the blue gem.
No.
In Drygulch.
No.
We don't.
No. I told everybody about that.
You did?
Oh, really?
Wait. No, because the last thing that happened was the closest you guys would have came was when I was inside that dude's cart, having him make me a copy of it, which is
Yes.
what I thought I still had, but I remembered he changed it back.
Yeah.
That librarian, the dwarven librarian that's like, take a hike kind of attitude, was like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
You were by yourself for all of that. And then you did all your research to figure out what these gems are and
Yeah.
how-
But then when I tried to make that deal with the Arcanoloth, he took it and changed it back.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was trying to make sure. I thought I still had it, but I couldn't remember. So
Yeah.
that's what kind of like I was kind of...
You guys know that he was charged with finding a blue gem. Nothing else really about it.
Okay.
Some gem of power. Doesn't mean anything to you.
All right.
And for all they know, I've completely...
Stop.
Yeah.
There's that crazy mark on your hand that you indicated there was something to go along with that, but
Which I meant to try that inside the temple, and then I completely forgot about it.
you will see.
Do what?
You will see.
Oh.
Use the mark that he has now.
Yeah, because I still have no idea what it does.
He wished for... Oh, I don't know if you told them that either.
No, I did not. Oh,
Okay.
well, no, we did. They were... Well, their characters don't know, but their players were there.
Yeah.
I
did.
wished for power
That was a-
over...
That was a
over the-
texting conversation that we had in Messenger of you in the alleyway.
You're right, because you know what? I said something, and then we kind of tweaked it, I think.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, because you asked for it to be part of the open or part of.
Part of the gray. And I was like, oh, and you get sucked into the portal, and that's where we ended it. And I was like, all right, we're going to tweak that a tad, because I don't know if that's what you intended, and I don't want to lose Hadvar. Not like that, anyway.
Yeah, I
Crappy
think
way
that
to go.
conversation started off with okay, so you're dead.
Right.
What?
No, we tweaked that wish, and that mark was bestowed on you, but you don't know what it does at all. Supposedly it is what you wished for, though. So, you guys have a good rest of the evening. Until next time, we'll pick another date, and then we'll pick it up here in Drygulch and figure out where to go.
Sounds good.
Cool. Have a good night.
Yeah.
See ya.
Have a good night. Feel better, Kyle.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'm sorry your back hurts.
Yeah, it feels really bad. It sucks a lot. I'm gonna have a really hard time getting up.
What are they? I mean, I don't know how the Navy works. If you're having tweaked back issues, do they give a shit?
Yes, only if so they do and they don't. I'm honestly I have no idea. I have to go to work tomorrow and meet with medical first thing. And so basically I went to the ER and I basically just sat there and waited for them to tell me or waited for them to give me meds. That was it.
Yeah.
Like they gave me muscle relaxers and ibuprofen and acetaminophen and then and and crutches, which have that I don't know why they gave me crutches. I
Yeah.
I was literally like carrying the crutches around because they were worthless. I was like, "Can I give these back?" And they're like, "No, they're yours now." Like, okay, thanks. I have crutches that I don't need because they don't do shit. Because it's all on my back. Like yeah, like the my legs were it hurt to walk on them, but it wasn't like I don't know. So basically, they did give me a recommendation of light duty, but it's up to my ship to make that decision whether or not I'm gonna be light duty or not until we can figure out what's going on. My main concern is like, I get like there's these back issues happen all the time, but this is the second time this exact situation has happened, and I've been complaining from chronic back illness for chronic back pain for like ever, and I mean, I'm not asking them to like fix it right away, but can you at least like I just want them to look into it and maybe we can figure out like what's the underlying issue.
Yeah.
Because
Which is why
because people don't have like it's not normal for me to not be able to